in a little bit, but we're very delighted to have Alicia Shabo with us, a very special guest, a former roommate and dear friend of Travis Alexander's. And you have talked about his spirit and his generosity. Tell us what you experienced firsthand.
Well, he took me in 2005 for about a month. I was in between places to live, and he helped me get a job. He took me to work, picked me up from work, and when I wasn't working, helping me in prepaid legal services. He was always trying to help me succeed and help me become my highest and best self, which is what he wanted for all of his friends.
And you have a book that you are holding in your hand. This is a book that says The Miracle of Forgiveness, and Travis gave this book for you. What does it illustrate in your mind?
Well, Travis was, he was a reader. Leaders are readers. And, he had a vast library of books. And so when I was there, I would borrow his books and I would read. And, he's like, you can just have that. I borrowed it for so long. He's like, I have multiple copies of several different books. And it just, to me, it's kind of eerie. I love having it because, his fingers, were in this book. He dog-eared lots of pages. And, one of them, a chapter was abandonment of sin. He was a very repentant person. He knew right from wrong, and it showed to me that he wanted to become a better person every single day. He wanted to make his weaknesses become strengths. And in my mind, Jodi took those weaknesses and exploited his weaknesses, and instead of helping him make them strengths, well, we know what happened. And so it just goes to show that he wasn't perfect, but he was trying.
Now, believe it or not, as this whole process unfolds, this tragedy unfolds, Jodi has been tweeting through a friend, believe it or not, which is quite extraordinary and certainly very, very controversial. But of course, she kind of hinted at some odd behavior during her interrogation tapes, to put it mildly.
Can I do it all without a trial, or does there have to be a trial?
It's something that you can discuss with the prosecutor.
Huh.
And I'm on the phone with him pretty much every day, giving him updates.
What's his name?
His name is Juan Martinez. And he's the #1 prosecutor.
All right, here are some tweets of Jodi Arias in recent days. It's really quite shocking. Here's one. Commissary, many of the items I didn't receive were for indigent girls less fortunate than me. I thankfully have a mini surplus of food. Here's another tweet from Jodi Arias. I wanted so much to avoid trial, but the state forced it. My only other option was suicide and, well, ... And I would have signed a plea deal years ago to avoid this disaster, but I was refused a plea as the state and family refused to settle. Now, Dave Hall, you are another dear friend of Travis Alexander. These are brazen tweets at a very inopportune and inappropriate time. What do you make of it? How do you feel when you hear her tweeting about the family refusing to settle?
Well, isn't that sweet of Jodi to be the Robin Hood and take care of all of the indigent prisoners out there and try to spin a PR firm a message that she's their savior and taking care of them. She says she would have taken a plea deal years ago, but now it's the family's fault. It's never her fault. It's the family's fault. They're the bad people that are making this happen. How about this, Jodi? How about you just tell the truth a few years ago, and then we never would have been in this case? Why don't you just, after you made a mistake, go turn yourself in and admit what you did, and then start telling the truth from day one instead of dragging Travis's family through all of this stuff and lying about every piece of this trial. It's disgusting what she's doing.
The family has been through hell.
Yes, they have, and back.